What's up, witches? My name is Syzygy and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then hi, hello, nice to have you. How are you doing today? Hopefully well. Today, I wanted to talk about a subject that has been kind of on my mind for a while. The other day, I mentioned on my stream, I stream every 2 weeks on the weekend by the way, that I would only be able to work on one video for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be having finals until March 15th. So I put up a poll on my community tab and the majority seemed to want me to complain first before I talk about Ophelia. So here we are. You see, in this video I wanted to cover a particular comment that I and probably many other artists and public figures are used to getting. And that comment that really grinds my gears and boils my piss, if you will, is when people say something along the lines of, quote, "Oh my god, your art is so good, it's so much better than mine, you're so much more talented than me, I wish I were you, I can only draw stick figures." I'm gonna be real with you guys, I'm gonna level with y'all. This comment right here and variations of it, yeah, it bothers me more than most hate comments ever could. For real. Oftentimes these comments start out with a compliment like, wow, your art is so cool. So when you first start reading them, you start to feel a bit flattered, happy even. People are being nice and that's cool. However, as you read further, you realize that, oh, this compliment was actually just a veiled self-depreciation attempt, and your soul subsequently leaves your body at top speed. Now, as much as I am making this video to complain, you know me, I do love to complain, I'm also making this video even more so in fact because I am under the belief, willing to bet even, that a lot of people who leave comments like this don't actually realize that what they're saying makes other people uncomfortable. In fact, when I was younger, I used to have a mindset exactly like this, so I know what it's like to be behind one of these comments in that sort of sense. So I want to talk about why putting yourself down while complimenting and raising someone else up is both detrimental for you and for the person you're trying to praise. First of all, I'm going to discuss what it's like to be a receiver of a compliment like this. Being an artist for years, and especially now being that I'm a YouTuber and public figure, yay, I'm quite familiar with comments like these. I've gotten them both from strangers and from friends, both experiences being terrible and uncomfortable. I do not enjoy these comments. In fact, I would go as far to say, I know that it's gonna be kind of radical, but I'm gonna go as far to say that I'm a disenjoyer of these comments. There is the dilemma of how to respond to the comment. If you simply heart or like it, or go as far as to thank the person who left it, then you're essentially just ignoring the part where they pretty much insult themselves. But at the same time, you don't want to actually acknowledge the bit where they insult themselves in the first place, because then, at that point, you're feeding into the self-deprecation, and plus, you probably don't know them and can't compliment them back without it feeling and, you know, being hollow. Whether or not the person realizes this or is malicious about it when they compliment others like this, the comment that they leave is a form of compliment fishing or attention seeking. I admittedly normally don't like to use the term attention seeking because it does have some connotations that I am not a fan of, but in this case it kind of is appropriate, I would say. Note that saying things like, "Oh wow, that's so cool, you're a wizard, how do you do that?" is a nice comment and is totally different from when people go, "Your art's good and mine sucks." One comment is intended to compliment and express admiration and elicit a thank you, and the other is intended to self-deprecate and elicit a return compliment or a "No, sweetie, you're doing great." It's hurtful, uncomfortable, frustrating, and incredibly irritating to get compliments like these, especially from strangers. If you want to compliment a creator or an artist you like, just say something nice. Don't bookend it with self-criticism or self-deprecation. Now, let's talk about what it's like for your own growth if you comment things like this or continuously self-depreciate and hate on your own art. As I mentioned before, I used to comment on things like this quite a lot. Generally not publicly or under creators' videos or anything like that, but usually between me and my friends. For many years, up until recently, like October last year recently, I had a big issue with compliment fishing and self-deprecating. And in my own personal life, generally with in-person friends I knew, I was often insulted or shit on by people that I should have been able to trust. On a heavier and more personal note, a lot of these insults were generally directed at my weight and physical appearance, leading to me developing a lot of self-confidence and body dysmorphia issues, both of which I struggle to this day. This was no different about my art. I grew up surrounded by people who would say things like, "Hey, that looks weird," or that looks ugly, or you can do better, in reference to the things that I drew. And, well, these experiences led me to developing a horrible habit of self-deprecating. It was kind of like a shield or a defense mechanism. I would insult myself before anyone else could. I would say I was ugly or that my art was ugly before anyone else could say the same thing. It would save me from the hurt. In fact, if I was especially mean to myself, I noticed that people who were normally shitty to me would compliment me in return. As things progressed, it became not just a way for me to shield myself from being rejected, but also a way to fish for compliments and to be reassured. This all snowballed into me having issues like this for literal years. I even struggle with insulting my appearance and having body image issues to this very day. And do you want to know what always made it so much worse? Comparing myself to other people. Back to the topic of art specifically, I would compare my work to that of professionals, to that of people I looked up to, and even to friends. This obviously always made me feel so much less than. The more that I told myself that I wasn't a good artist and was worse than everyone else around me, the more I began to get in my own head and start to believe it. The less I improved, the more my mental health started to deteriorate, the more I would seek sympathy from friends. And most of all, the less that the compliments that I desperately sought got through to me, and the less that friends actually wanted to be around me in the first place. Before I ever turned things around, I was stuck in this mindset that stopping my own self-hate verbally would not actually do anything to the way that I saw my work. I thought that if I stop insulting myself to my friends, then I'll just be stuck with the thoughts internally and things won't get better. And obviously they're just complimenting me because they feel bad for me, right? However, in October, I finally stopped verbalizing these thoughts. I stopped going, I hate my work so much when I was upset, and instead I would say, I like the piece, but something seems off. Does anyone else see that? I stopped being too modest, and if I was proud of something, I'd come out and say it proper. And at first, there wasn't too much difference in the way that I felt, but nowadays I feel so much better about my work. I used to hate my art and my writing so much, and now I'm indifferent if something turns out poorly, and elated when something turns out well. I find myself complimenting my own art and work more internally, and I have stopped having the urge to look at artists or writers I like and say, I wish I were them. My work sucks. I can only draw stick figures. My point here is that taking steps to be kinder to yourself can help you reap great rewards. Steeling yourself against writing a comment under someone's art saying that their art is great and yours sucks in comparison not only saves the artist in question from discomfort, but may very well help you. Taking these steps are hard. I know that it's not easy to just stop feeling bad about yourself or to stop having the urge to hate your own work. I know it's not as simple as just get over it. But even though these little steps may take a while to get used to and to get ingrained in you, and though changing your attitude towards yourself and your art may not come immediately, I swear to you that if you keep it up, things will get better. And you know, the first step that you can take is insulting yourself a little less, especially in the comment section of someone else. With all of that being said, I hope that this video is helpful to someone. I admittedly got a little bit more personal in the script writing than I initially intended to, but you know, I think it may be good for illustrative purposes. I wish everyone watching this video good luck and growth in their own artistic journeys. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to rate and subscribe if you feel so inclined. You can also comment down below with future video ideas or to give your own thoughts on the topic. If you want to see more of my art, both safe for work and not safe for work, 18+ for that last one, or if you want to order a commission, I still have 2 slots open. You can follow the link to my card down below and find the links to all of my social media. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and don't forget, stay magical.